History, Chapter 3, The Peasants and the Raj. The British made land a saleable commodity by taking away the ancestral rights of the peasants over their land. Let us study about their revenue settlements, especially the colonial agrarian policies of the British. The dual system of governance started by the British in Bengal aimed at increasing the revenue for the English East India Company and buy fine cotton or silk cloth at cheap rates. But it led to Bengal famine, in which 1/3 of Bengal's population perished or died and agriculture was abandoned. So the English East India Company introduced three main types of land revenue settlements in India. They are permanent settlement, Mahalwari settlement and Rotwari settlement. Let us study in detail. Number one, the permanent settlement. It introduced by Lord Cornwallis in 1793. It covered mostly Bengal, Bihar, Orissa and Uttar Pradesh. What about its features? Number one, Zamindars emerged as a class of loyal allies to the English East India Company. Zamindars or landlords got hereditary rights over their land. Number three, the farmers became tenants and lost the right to the use of pastures, forest lands, irrigation canals, fishing boats, etc. Number four, the income of the company from land revenue became secure and regular. Number five, the peasants were forced to pay the revenue even if the crops failed or destroyed. So the peasants borrowed money from moneylenders, which made them pathetical condition of their life, and their agricultural products also completely worse because of that. Number two, Mahalwari settlement. It introduced by Holt Mackenzie in 1822. It covered UP, Central Provinces and Punjab. What about its features? Number one, the unit of revenue settlement was the village or mahal, and the revenue demand was made collectively on the village. Number two, the village headman was responsible for collecting the revenue and making it over to the British government. Number three, the village headman fixed the revenue on the basis of the type of land, total land under cultivation, customs and rights of different agricultural groups, etc. Number four, the rate of revenue was to be revised periodically and not fixed permanently. Next, Rotwari settlement. It introduced by Thomas Munro in 1820. It covered Bombay and Madras presidencies. Madras presidency means at present Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh areas. Let us see its features. Number one, the land revenue was taken from the riot or cultivators, right? Means cultivators directly. Number two, the cultivators became the landowners and there was no intermediary for collecting the revenue. Number three, the revenue was very high and collected rigidly. Number four, the cultivators had to pay even if their crops were destroyed or failed. So the peasants were overburdened with heavy taxes and their life was completely pathetic because of that. Number five, they often had to take a loan to pay the land revenue. It made them indebtedness, heavy debt. All these three land revenue settlements were based on cash payments. So the Zamindars, Lambardar or headman, riot or cultivators had to make enough provision for cash by selling a part of the produce in the market to be able to pay cash revenue. So let us study about commercialization. Commercialization of agriculture and cultivation. The term commercialization means production of something for sale in the market for earning maximum profit. the things which can be produced only for sale and getting maximum profit. Its features are: number one, it was based on cash payment. Number two, there was a rapid commercialization of land by collecting revenue on time. Number three, it forced cultivation of commercial crops in rural areas like opium, indigo, rubber, coffee, tea, cotton, jute, etc. It led to industrial revolution. European countries were busy with producing or manufacturing new products in order to fulfill the demands of European markets, trade, especially trade and business. The colonies produced more raw materials for manufactures. There were two important results of cultivation of commercial crops on peasants here in India. The positive case, these were sold in international markets. Their demands fluctuated widely. It benefited for peasants in some extent. The negative case, in the absence of cash from cash crops, much of their land was set aside for non-food crops. It led to famine. Famine means a shortage of food. Especially it caused in Bengal, which perished 1/3 of its population.